Good morning. Hello, world. Welcome to Chats with Baba. This is a weekly podcast that's brought to you by the Lighthouse for Academic and Cultural Excellence. The purpose of this podcast is to inform and empower parents of young Black children. The information is significant and relevant for all children. Why Black children? Why Black parents? Well, if you look at the information in the areas of literacy, mathematics, and school readiness, our children aren't doing well for a host of reasons. So as a professor in the field of early childhood, and from what I know and what I've experienced, is to help parents to lay that foundation early on. And what we do know is that children have natural gifts. There's natural genius in our children. So this task is to help parents to unfold those gifts. And we want to move from miseducation to education. And we want to strive for excellence. Now, let me talk about that word excellence for just a moment. Right now, we are in the midst of the Olympics, which comes every 4 years. And what we're seeing are young people, males and females, who have strived to reach a level of excellence in their particular area. And the key to them of achieving this level of excellence is preparation. Preparation is the absolute key to their success. We had a situation where Simone Biles, one of the great gymnasts in the world, she said that she is not mentally ready. Her mental and physical aspects are not coming together, are not in sync. So therefore, she said she could not perform the level that she wanted to. However, one of her teammates stepped up and fulfilled the role that normally Simone would have been doing, but Simone cheered her on. And fortunately, she was prepared and was able to win the gold medal, I think, in the all-around performance. So preparation to success and preparation for excellence is a key factor. This time of the year, children are going back to school, going to school. The NFL teams are reporting to camp, and there's a lot of activity. And all of what each is hoping is that they are ready and prepared to perform in their particular discipline, i.e. preschool or the NFL. Sandwiched in there somewhere is the aspiration of excellence. So I want to say to parents that this is an unusual school year because of the pandemic. It's unusual in the sense that we all have concerns. And I would suggest to you that you get attuned to whatever the policies and procedures are of your local school district and just become an active advocate for your child. Those who will be going to kindergarten or preschool or kindergarten will be encountering children and peers outside of the home for the first time in many cases. So it's important that you, as a parent, spend time chatting with them. It's important that you connect with them when they are coming home and are wanting to talk to you, just to give them an ear so that you can at least stay attuned to their sensitivity, things that they may be engaging in and These are new encounters for them. But what I want to talk to you about today is this whole area of readiness, preparation, and how preschool children, i.e. the 3 and 4 year olds, learn. For them, learning is sensory based. That is, they learn through their senses, the sense of smell, the sense of touch, the sense of taste, the sense of sight, the sense of hearing. All of these areas are things that children are gaining knowledge, concepts, new information through their senses. And one of the areas that I find that's of great interest to children is the kitchen. There are lots of drawers, there are lots of doors. There's just a lot of things in the kitchen where you can engage children in the process of learning. And there are a couple of factors. One is when I talk about the kitchen, you always want to make sure of the safety element. It can also be an area of concern. But it's an area where children can explore, analyze, discover, tinker, and play with a variety of things. For example, I don't know of a kitchen that doesn't have a drawer where you throw stuff. And there are a lot of things in there that children can learn from. For example, I don't know of a kitchen that doesn't have a sense of measuring items, measuring spoons, measuring cups, measuring jars, and so forth and so on. I don't know of a kitchen where where you don't have cups and other items that you can pour things into and pour things out of. I don't know of a kitchen that doesn't have a variety of pots and pans of various sizes. I don't know of a kitchen where there aren't other items that you use to measure and pour, things of that nature. Well, all of these things are of interest to young children. And all of these things are items that you can use to teach children. As I said, their basis for learning is through the senses. As you are preparing food, they can help you. As you are preparing food, they can taste different things. Their facial expression will say to you what's good, what's bad, what they like, what they don't like. So it's important that at this time in their development, that you provide them with the kinds of things that will engage their senses. Let me go back to something that I've said almost every week. As you are engaging with your children, you want them to listen, pay attention, follow directions, start and finish a task, whatever that may be. That kind of preparation will give them the mental readiness when they are encountering learning situations outside of the home. And there's an order to it. You listen, you pay attention, you follow directions, you start something and you finish it. That will carry them along with it. Let me go back to the kitchen. Let's say you are making a cake. It's always one of my favorite items to talk about. I'm not talking about a cake that you pour the ingredients out of the box, add a little water or add a little milk, stir it up and throw it in the oven. I'm talking about a cake where you take all of the necessary ingredients, i.e. flour, butter, eggs, sugar, milk, cinnamon, and other spices. And with each of those, one has to measure out so much flour, one has to measure out so much butter, one has to measure out so much of the elements that go into making this cake. And in doing so, you can involve children in that process. It may take a little longer, but one of the elements of being a good teacher is patience. And you take your time and allow them to engage and help you as you are putting together all of the elements of the cake. So my point is, let's go back to how they learn through their senses. And young children not only learn through the senses, but what they also they are visual learners. They are watching and observing everything that you do. You may not notice, but the children are good observers of what they are looking at. And much of what they see can occur when they're off playing by themselves. But it's important that as you are putting together things, you allow them to be engaged in that process. And as you are preparing the various elements, allow them to pour, allow them to taste, allow them to touch. You may not engage them in the cutting stuff. That can be a little dangerous for them. But all other aspects, they can help in the stirring, in the mixing. Now, we have a lot of electronic items that will take away some of the hand mixing. But I think it's important for the young children that they see you in putting the elements together, and as they are observing you, they are also processing what it is that you are doing. So my point is that in the process of learning, they are using all of their various senses. And as they are assisting you, things that you've heard me say in the past is to affirm what they're doing, to give them feedback for helping you in the preparation of whatever it is that you may be doing. And those are critical relative to the children's thinking. They're critical relative to the skills that they're developing, because not only are they visual, but they're also developing their motor skills, how to use their hands and other parts of their body. So again, the kitchen is a great place to engage children in the process of teaching and learning, as well as the readiness. Now, readiness is not limited to naming items, but readiness is also important in terms of their mental preparation. Remember what I said early on, those who are in the Olympics have, there's a mental preparation that goes along with their physical training. Well, the same thing is applicable to preschool children. Mental preparation, the feedback that you're giving them as they are assisting you, or the feedback that you are giving them as they are engaging in other things in that kitchen element. The other piece of it is, again, you can look at skills relative to naming everything that you touch. Name it, and you call it any number of times. What you're doing is helping them, knowingly or unknowingly, to develop their vocabulary. What you're doing is helping them to develop language skills. What you're doing is helping them to develop math skills. I mean, for example, if you're saying you need a half a teaspoon of something, you call it. I'm putting in a half of this, a half of that. Or it says a quarter of a teaspoon. Those are math terms and math concepts. They may not seem like much, but they are. You know, you're helping them to again to store up knowledge and skills as you are going through this process. They're also developing their motor skills. For example, there are things that you may need to cut. There are things that you may need to paste and put together. Well, these are all possibilities for children as they are working with you in the kitchen. So what I am saying is that the kitchen is a great place for you to engage preschoolers and in the process of their readiness and preparation. So what I'm going to be doing in the coming weeks is to continue the podcast, but somewhere early on in the month of August, I will be developing a series of tapes to demonstrate what I'm talking about, so you can visually see these on YouTube. So as we bring today's session to a close, the whole issue is the key to success is preparation, always attending to children's behavior relative to their exploring, analyzing, and investigating things. So you can look at my website where there are books that talks about excellence. There will be some articles that speak to the issue of children's learning, their motor skills, and so forth and so on. So with that, this ends today's podcast on looking at learning through children's sensory. Have a good day.